Have you ever noticed how people tend to react in unusual ways when they encounter someone who's quiet and confident? It's not just the introverted individuals who wish they could speak up, it's the ones who are calm, self-assured, and simply choose when and how much to say. These individuals, especially Sigma males, often find themselves under scrutiny because their silence creates space for others to project their own insecurities, fears, and misconceptions. It's interesting how these silent figures become blank slates on which people create elaborate stories, rather than genuinely trying to understand who they really are. Let's delve deeper into the 7 wild assumptions often made about silent Sigma males. Number 1. Misconceptions about silent Sigma males. People often make snap judgments about quiet individuals, and rather than attempting to understand them, they construct elaborate stories based on their own experiences or biases. This is especially true for Sigma males, who tend to be more reserved and observant, rather than vocal or expressive. The problem arises because, in social interactions, silence tends to draw attention, and instead of accepting it as a personal choice, others begin to fill that silence with theories about what's happening beneath the surface. Instead of acknowledging that silence can be a form of peaceful self-possession, many people feel compelled to analyze it, creating layers of assumptions that don't reflect the truth. Moreover, this tendency to make assumptions happens everywhere, whether in the office, at family gatherings, or in casual social settings. When a Sigma male chooses to observe rather than engage in conversation, people often become amateur psychologists, attempting to decode his behavior. They may assume he's antisocial, disconnected, or disconnected from the social fabric. In reality, these conclusions are often far removed from the true nature of the individual. Most Sigma males are simply living life on their own terms, unaffected by the noise around them, and their silence is simply part of their personal equilibrium. Number 2. Assumption of superiority. One of the most common and misguided assumptions made about silent Sigma males is that they must think they are superior to others. When someone remains calm and reserved, people often misinterpret this behavior as a sign of judgment or arrogance. The silent individual's choice to engage selectively is often perceived as an act of cherry-picking who they deem worthy of their attention, which makes them appear aloof or condescending. However, the reality is much simpler than this. Many Sigma males are comfortable enough with themselves to not need constant social validation. Their quiet presence is not a sign of superiority but rather a reflection of their self-assuredness and independence. The irony is that those who make these assumptions are often projecting their own insecurities, as they are unable to comprehend someone being at peace with themselves without seeking validation or attention. In fact, social psychology reveals that those who are genuinely judgmental tend to be more vocal, not less. Silent Sigma males aren't interested in judging or ranking others, they are focused on living authentically, free from the pressures of social competition. While they may seem distant, this is simply their way of engaging with the world in a more thoughtful and deliberate manner. Number 3. Privacy misunderstood. Another common assumption people make about Sigma males is that they must be hiding something because they choose to keep certain aspects of their lives private. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, those who value privacy often face suspicion. When a Sigma male chooses to keep his thoughts, emotions, or personal experiences to himself, others often think that there's something mysterious or sinister going on. However, the truth is that these individuals simply have a strong sense of boundaries. They understand that not everything needs to be shared with the world, and they respect their own privacy, which is a rarity in a society that constantly pushes for openness and transparency. The need for privacy isn't about keeping secrets or being deceptive, it's about understanding that some things are meant to remain personal. For example, having curtains on a window doesn't mean someone is hiding something inside their home, it's just about creating a space where not everything needs to be exposed to the outside world. Similarly, Sigma males take this approach to their inner lives. The more private someone is, the more others tend to create dramatic theories about what they might be hiding. However, in truth, the desire for privacy is not an attempt to conceal something but a healthy boundary that allows for peace of mind. Number 4. Social skills misjudged. A big misconception people often make about Sigma males is that their quiet demeanor suggests social awkwardness. Many assume that if someone isn't constantly engaging or talking in social settings, it means they don't know how to interact with others. This assumption is entirely wrong. When placed in the right situations, such as a business meeting where clarity and ideas are essential, a Sigma male will speak with confidence and precision. If a leadership moment arises, they will rise to the occasion without hesitation, demonstrating the power of focused engagement. This is because real social ability isn't about being the loudest or most outgoing, it's about knowing when and how to communicate effectively. Sigma males, unlike those who feel the need to be on all the time, strategically choose when to use their social skills. This selective engagement, however, is often misinterpreted as awkwardness or discomfort in social situations. But in reality, it is a sign of social intelligence. Think of it like an athlete who only participates in games that require skill. They're not lacking in ability, they simply choose when to perform. Sigma males are highly aware of social dynamics, and their ability to assess situations and engage meaningfully shows that they possess deeper understanding and awareness than those who are constantly seeking attention. Number 5. Being broken. Another false assumption people often make about silent Sigma males is that something must be wrong with them simply because they are different. The quiet ones who don't conform to societal expectations of constant chatter or social performance are often seen as damaged or flawed. Whether it's a traumatic childhood, depression, or a mental health issue, people often assume that silence signals something broken within a person. However, this assumption could not be further from the truth. Sigma males often have a clearer understanding of who they are and how they operate in the world. Their peace comes from within, and they have found a balance that works for them. In many ways, it's the loud, outgoing individuals who struggle with their own identity, constantly seeking external validation. The quiet Sigma male, however, doesn't need to perform for others to feel whole. Just like how a cat is independent and self-sufficient, a Sigma male's need for solitude and silence doesn't equate to dysfunction. It's merely a natural preference that allows them to thrive. People often mistake this difference for damage when, in fact, the most fulfilling way of living may be to embrace one's true nature without the pressure of societal expectations. Number 6. They're trying to be different. A common assumption made about Sigma males is that they are deliberately trying to be different or stand out from the crowd. People often believe that anyone who chooses to go against the grain must be doing so as an act or as a way to draw attention. This misconception stems from a societal pressure to conform, where anyone who behaves differently is seen as intentionally trying to distinguish themselves from others. However, for Sigma males, being different is not an act, it is simply who they are. For Sigma males, divergence from societal norms is a natural state of being, not something they consciously do to gain attention. It's not about rebellion or defiance, it's simply about choosing to live authentically, without the need for external validation. In fact, being different is often more challenging than fitting in, as it invites more criticism and scrutiny. If Sigma males were truly trying to stand out, they would likely adopt more overtly attention-grabbing behaviors, such as making bold statements or displaying flashy actions. Instead, they prefer to walk their own path quietly and confidently. Many people struggle to understand the authenticity of this behavior because they themselves are often caught up in the need to conform. When someone has never allowed themselves to be truly genuine, they may project the belief that anyone who is different must be seeking attention. However, the reality is that Sigma males are simply more comfortable in their own skin and do not feel the need to fit into the molds that society sets. Their individuality is a reflection of their inner peace, not an effort to be unique for the sake of it. In a world where social validation is highly sought after, being your authentic self can be seen as an act of rebellion in itself. For Sigma males, the most radical thing they can do is embrace their true nature without worrying about how others perceive them. It's not about trying to be different, it's about being true to themselves, even if it doesn't align with conventional expectations. This authenticity often leads to a more fulfilling and peaceful life because it comes from a place of self-awareness and self-acceptance. Number 7. They're cold and emotionless. One of the most common misunderstandings people have about Sigma males is that they are cold and emotionless. This misconception arises because Sigma males often appear composed and in control of their emotions. Unlike others who might express their feelings more openly, Sigma males tend to process their emotions internally and don't feel the need to display them for others to see. This calm exterior leads people to assume that they don't feel deeply or that they are detached from their emotional world, but this assumption couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, Sigma males often experience emotions just as intensely as anyone else. The difference is that they don't feel compelled to show their emotions in dramatic ways. They prefer to observe their feelings and analyze them before expressing them, which is a sign of emotional maturity. This internal processing allows them to understand their emotions more clearly and respond thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. Their ability to remain composed in emotionally charged situations can be a sign of emotional intelligence, not a lack of feeling. The mistake people often make is that they expect emotions to be expressed in a particular way, through big gestures or constant verbal affirmation. When they don't see these outward displays, they assume that Sigma males are emotionally unavailable or indifferent. However, Sigma males demonstrate their emotional depth in more subtle, meaningful ways. They may not shout their feelings from the rooftops, but when they choose to express their emotions, it is usually in a way that is genuine and impactful. Their emotional presence is often more reliable and consistent than the more overt expressions of emotion seen in others. Sigma males' emotional depth is also reflected in their relationships. While they may not share every feeling with everyone, when they do open up, it is with authenticity and purpose. Their emotional connection to others is not based on constant display but on true understanding and support. This makes them incredibly reliable and trustworthy individuals. So, while they may not fit the conventional mold of emotional expressiveness, Sigma males often have the deepest emotional intelligence and are capable of showing the most meaningful forms of emotional support when it truly counts. Number 8. They are just trying to be mysterious. Another wild assumption people often make about silent Sigma males is that they are intentionally trying to create an air of mystery around themselves. People are naturally drawn to mystery, and when they encounter someone who is quiet and enigmatic, they may assume that the individual is deliberately cultivating an aura of intrigue to draw attention or manipulate others. However, for Sigma males, this sense of mystery is not something they actively try to create, it's simply a byproduct of their nature. Sigma males tend to keep certain aspects of their lives private, not because they are trying to be mysterious, but because they value their independence and prefer to operate on their own terms. They don't need to constantly share their thoughts or make themselves the center of attention to feel validated. In fact, they often find it draining to engage in small talk or share unnecessary details about their lives. This natural inclination toward privacy can sometimes be misinterpreted as an attempt to be mysterious, but in reality, it's simply a reflection of their desire for inner peace and self-sufficiency. The reality is that being mysterious requires far more effort than simply choosing to live authentically. Sigma males aren't carefully crafting a persona, they are just living according to their own values and preferences. The more they distance themselves from the noise of the world, the more others project their assumptions onto them. This projection creates a sense of mystery, but it's not something that Sigma males are actively cultivating. It's simply how others interpret their quiet, private nature. In a world where everyone is expected to share everything, Sigma males stand out because they don't feel the need to perform for an audience. Their actions are genuine, and their quiet presence often leads others to overinterpret their motives. Rather than trying to be mysterious, Sigma males are simply being true to themselves and living life on their own terms, regardless of how others perceive them. Number 9. They have no real friendships. Some people assume that because Sigma males are independent and self-sufficient, they must lack meaningful relationships or friendships. This assumption arises from the idea that everyone needs constant social interaction and a wide circle of friends to be happy. However, the truth is that Sigma males often value quality over quantity in their relationships. They may not have a large group of friends, but the ones they do have are deeply meaningful and rooted in mutual respect. Sigma males are selective about who they let into their lives. They don't seek out friendships for the sake of social validation, but instead form connections with people who truly align with their values and understanding of the world. This selectivity can sometimes be misinterpreted as a lack of social skills or a disinterest in forming relationships. However, it is simply a reflection of their preference for deep, authentic connections rather than shallow or superficial ones. Additionally, Sigma males are not lonely, they are simply content with their own company. Their ability to enjoy solitude without feeling isolated allows them to form deeper bonds when they do choose to connect with others. They don't need constant socializing to feel fulfilled, and as a result, their friendships tend to be more genuine and supportive. While they may not have a wide social circle, the friendships they do maintain are often the most meaningful and lasting. In many cases, Sigma males are actually surrounded by people who respect their independence and admire their authenticity. They may not engage in constant social gatherings, but when they do invest in relationships, they are fully committed and present. The quality of their connections is far more important to them than the number of people they know. Number 10. They're unemotional and detached. Another stereotype that is often applied to Sigma males is that they are unemotional and detached from their feelings. People often assume that if someone isn't overtly expressive or visibly emotional, they are completely disconnected from their inner world. But this is an oversimplification. Sigma males may not display their emotions as frequently or as publicly as others, but that doesn't mean they are devoid of feeling. On the contrary, they often experience emotions deeply, but they prefer to process them privately before sharing them with others. This emotional depth can be misunderstood by those who equate emotion with outward expression. Sigma males might not wear their hearts on their sleeves, but this doesn't mean they are less emotional. They simply don't feel the need to advertise their emotions to the world. They process their feelings internally, which allows them to maintain control over how they respond to situations. This calm, controlled demeanor is often seen as emotional detachment, but in reality, it is a sign of emotional maturity. Sigma males are also capable of great empathy, even if they don't express it in conventional ways. They understand and respect the emotions of others, but they don't feel the need to project or share their own emotions in the same way. Their emotional intelligence allows them to connect with people on a deeper level, even without overt displays of affection or emotion. When they do choose to express themselves, it is usually in a very deliberate and meaningful way, rather than through impulsive reactions. Ultimately, Sigma males' emotional landscape is more complex than the assumption of detachment suggests. They may not be as outwardly expressive as others, but they possess a rich inner world and a deep understanding of their emotions. Their ability to navigate their feelings in a composed, private manner is one of the many traits that make them so unique. So, what have we learned? The assumptions people make about Sigma males often reveal more about the people making the judgments than about the individuals themselves. Whether it's the belief that they are superior, hiding something, or emotionally detached, these ideas miss the mark. The truth is that Sigma males are simply different, deep thinkers, highly capable, and emotionally intelligent individuals who prefer privacy, authenticity, and meaningful engagement. They don't need to prove their worth to others because they already know who they are. If this resonates with you, consider subscribing for more insightful content on Sigma males and related topics. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay strong and keep evolving. And do share with your friends so we may continue to create them. To see more videos like this, subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Additionally, make sure to check out our other videos. Thank you for watching.